good afternoon, and welcome to another Super Secret Project sketch. This is Eric Whalen from Super Secret Project X. And I'm going to make sure my mic is actually saying stuff. Aha, yes, good. Okay. Just realized I didn't do a mic check. Okay. Today's been a bit of a week. I'm a little tired. I don't have all the oomph. I do, however, have myself some water. A beautiful lady. Sup? Sup? And we started watching Animaniacs, the new season this week.
Yeah, so far I like it. We've only seen one episode.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing so far. I like the fact that they did not deviate so far from the character designs that they didn't do the make them for the new kids.
No, they really could have done that. They did.
Yeah.
There was some slight changes to the characters, but in some cases I think it was pretty much just improvements.
They gave them the fun little sharp cartoony tooth, which I have always kind of had a personal thing for because it's really kind of fun. Made them just a bit more, just the slightest bit more angular. But
I gotta say, Pinky and the Brain did not look as good to me as they used to, but I thought the Warner Brothers and Dot looked a little better, and I really liked how they drew the people.
Yeah.
But there was something about they pulled Pinky and the Brain, or they did something to him, and it's not bad. It's just that that's the one thing where I looked at it and went, no, that's good. It's just not as good. Whereas I looked at everything else and was like, this feels better. So I'm not sure what that was, because I think it was their... I'll be honest, I'm not real sure.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just well, again, it's the first episode, so maybe it gets better. But
if it remains at that quality, they're going to be good. I just thought that was just a basic criticism, you know.
I agree. It felt a little pulled back to me, but on the same note,
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
on the
feels
same
right.
note, it felt. I felt just a little pulled back, and I don't know if it's just because of there's only well, again, I don't know yet because we've only seen one episode, but yeah, I had fun with it. I've seen clips and stuff from other episodes, and I am looking forward to a lot of the stuff that I saw.
I like the irreverence of it.
Yeah.
It's not like super edgy or anything, but it's still irreverent, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, far more so than what... and it is. It's technically a kid's show, what a kid's show would technically have.
Right.
And it was smarter written, like they didn't treat the audience like they were stupid. My favorite joke in there was they couldn't figure out who the president was because they're like, yeah, this was animated 2 years ago.
Right.
And they knew it would be coming out right after. So they were like, yeah, we don't know. We were animated 2 years ago. So they treated the audience like adults, which was nice.
Mm-hmm. Well, that and they realized that it's not going, it's like they said in the parody song that they were doing, catching up everything, that they knew that this is going to be not only for kids, but for the parents of the kids who were watching this, who watched this 20-something years ago, or
Yes.
20 years ago. So, they're like, well, we kind of got to keep up with the times and everything. And yeah.
Did I announce what character I'm doing?
Uh,
We're doing Dot. We're doing Dot.
Yes, Dot from Animaniacs. I think you may have said like a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not so sharp today.
Well, you found one of your favorite video games in the remake of it, so
Yeah.
you've been really doing a deep dive, which you've been having a lot of fun with.
Yeah,
So.
and it's good. It's just, I also just feel that my power level isn't bad. I don't have a headache. I don't feel bad at all. I just was like, boo. Like my power level is just even. Like I'm not spiking, I'm not dropping. I'm literally like this flat line right now.
Well, we're hoping not flatline. No flatlining.
Well,
Bad.
we'll see.
No. No, I don't want that to happen. You're at a nice, calm medium. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, Dot was Well, Dot's always had a special place in my heart because, well, first of all, her voice actress Tress MacNeille has been like one of my favorite voice actresses of all time. Um, Going back to she voiced my all-time favorite character, Gadget, from Rescue Rangers, and I was cracking up the first time I heard. Well, actually, it was before then because it was with Tiny Toons because she also voiced Babs Bunny.
Mm.
And so hearing Gadget's voice coming out of Babs Bunny, not being a intellectual, but being kind of a funny, goofball, snarky, I was just like, this is kind of cool. And then you hear Animaniacs, and then even before then, Tress MacNeille, she's done a ton of voice work, but she played a bunch of characters on The Simpsons also, and of course Futurama. But on The Simpsons, she was the one that I remember her from was the Crazy Cat Lady, just yeah, and throwing cats at people. And then she's
One of my
done
favorites.
a bunch of other characters on the show too, both kids and adult characters. But of course, with Futurama, she was Mom, and I cracked up laughing once again hearing like older Gadget voice telling her three sons like cram a bastard in it.
Mom is one of the greatest characters ever. I like Dot. There's a lot about Animaniacs that I like, but Mom is a work of art. You know, there's something about Mom that is so freaking spectacular.
Cram a bastard in it.
She's-
Then he pukes.
She's so cruel and nasty and cold, and she's so funny because of it.
Yeah, the last Wizard World, not Wizard World, I'm sorry. Ooh, back that up. C2E2, Chicago Comics and Entertainment Expo, for those who don't know, big comic convention that happens in Chicago. I was able to go to that, and I got her, Rob Paulson, and oh come on, Brain, who plays the voice of Wacko. Oh crud, come on. I have failed my voice acting knowledge. But the voice of Wacko, I got their autograph on a picture that I did. That the original picture went for a charity, and I got a copy autograph for myself also. But I got a picture with Tress MacNeille, and that's like one of my favorite treasured. I gotta get it printed out and framed pictures and stuff because she's like I said, she's one of my favorite voice actresses and one of my voice acting heroes in general.
Sure.
Just loved her characters and stuff.
Well, she's got a tremendous voice. She's so good.
And the thing is, she is such a sweet person. She is my height, which for those of you who don't know, I'm short. Well, I'm
teeny.
I'm average. I'm short average. I'm 5'3". So I'm not like I'm not like super short, but I am of the I have to either ask Eric or climb a counter to get to the top shelves. But yeah, and she was just such a nice person when I had a chance to chat with her a little bit. And my favorite, and like I cherish this memory because when I got a chance to meet her and chat with her a little bit, apparently like the three of them, Rob Paulson, she, and I'm going to remember his name because he's also a rocker too.
You got an internet right there. You got an internet. There's a mid 40-year-old.
Well,
You got yourself an internet there.
Whatever, boomer.
Oh, I am not.
I know.
I don't even like going by whatever generation I am. But I ain't that old. Getting there.
Jess Harnell, that's his name. Jess Harnell. But chatting with them and stuff. My favorite memory when I was chatting with her. Apparently, Jess Harnell's girlfriend was, because I was laughing and having a good time and joking with them and all that. She liked my laugh so much that she was like, "Your laugh is hilarious and it's so cute." So Tress MacNeille kept poking me in the side to make me laugh, and she kept tickling me. And I'm sitting here cracking up laughing, which was making the other two laugh, which made me laugh even more. And
Marvelous.
it was such a really great experience because I'm like, I actually had a personal experience with three of my like childhood heroes in a sense. And I'm just like, this is the coolest day ever right now. And so yeah, that was. I really wish I would have gotten a video, but the picture will do and the autographs will do and stuff. But yeah, they were. That was a fun time, and it was yeah, it was good. It was a good day. It was worth the only 2 hours I had to stand in line, which is not bad considering all the other like worst lines I've had to stand in my lifetime for stuff. So
We've been in some bad ones.
yeah,
Wizard World, I think, was the worst that one year. That was like, what, was it 4 or 5 hours?
no, that was Anime Central.
Was that okay? It was
Yeah,
whatever that was. It was terrible.
It was the last one that you ever went to, and then yeah, because we waited 3 hours.
I broke my own rule.
Huh?
I broke my own rule.
What was that?
I didn't lay the thing out. I think her ears are going to get cut off.
Oh, it's okay.
I feel stupid.
No, you're fine. You're like I said, you're having a day.
I still feel bad.
Well, you had to. You were matching her up with Space Kook over there, which is going to be really messed up.
That's true. There's going to be some deep, weird loving happening here, which is probably about right for Dot. So
I think Space Kook is probably the normal one out of the relationship on that one. He's gonna be running away. And I mean, Animaniacs. Oh wow! Some of the best jokes I have ever seen out of animation came from that show. I mean, the fingerprints joke.
the fact that they went out of their way to actually try to make the show funny, whereas you'd get a lot of animation, and they were trying to be safe funny. You know, like they were like, oh no, it has to be funny, but you know, don't get us in trouble. Don't say anything. And the thing was, Animaniacs did it what I thought is about right. They pushed it a little bit. They didn't push it a ton, but they did. They had some risks happening there, and you had little moments that you kind of went, whoa.
Well, they pushed it quite a bit, honestly, for that time period, and I think Warner was actually getting away with quite a bit because that was also during the time with Batman the Animated Series, and they were also breaking a lot of rules with that, and so they were like, okay, if we can do it on the dark side, let's swing
On the actual funny
what's up,
side.
you savages? Hey man, what's up? Hey Joe.
Thank you, pack of savages. Thank you. Yeah, we were guessing. We were guessing it was Joe.
I remember this time.
See, I got the words happening over.
Yep.
Yeah. I got the techno thing happening.
Attaboy.
It's me, Joe. I just hope somebody doesn't come in and is like, write some really horrific stuff over my sketches.
Well, now that you said it.
Well, here's the upside of very few people watching. Thank you to those who do. But not a lot of people do.
I still think when we get a bigger crowd, we need to call them your savages from there.
I'm not against that at all.
I know.
A pack of savages.
I know. Cree Summer, one of my other favorite voice actresses of
Yeah, she's one of mine too.
She actually calls her kids, her little girls, she calls them her savages.
I bet that sounds hot coming out of her mouth.
Which is why she has kids.
This is true.
But yeah. Wonder if you did the "You Really Love Me Yet" for Doc. Nope, not yet. And we were still talking about the just the lines that we love from the show, and like I said, one of my favorite bits, of course, is the fingerprints line. Which,
I don't think so.
yeah, and the fact that Prince's look as he looks at her, and then like slicks his hair back. That right there. I mean, I remember some of the writers, they were talking about that. They were like, "Yeah, we were surprised they let us get away with that too." Let's see that one. Oh man, Minerva Mink.
I had a thing for her.
I think she put a lot of kids through puberty, and they purposefully.
See, I was
made-
already most of the way through puberty at that point, and she helped.
You that was second puberty.
Puberty, part 2, the puberting.
Electric puberty.
Electric puberdoo. Puberty part 2, electric puberdoo. Switch one channel over. Puberdoo.
Where are you?
Awesome. That is so good. All right.
But yeah, there was actually a quite a thing with Minerva Mink because she had her character was kind of stolen. There's this one guy, and I'm unfortunately blanking on his name, but I told you about him. He made a comic called Sabrina. And
Yeah, I do remember you saying this. Yeah.
yeah, she was Sabrina was it was an anthropomorphic comic, and Sabrina was a skunk who was really into like old school techno stuff, like Ataris and Amiga systems, and
Sure.
loved her. She was a nerdy, cute little squirrel girl or a skunk girl, and her best friend / roommate was this blonde squirrel chick named Amy Squirrel, who looked a lot like Minerva Mink. And so it was kind of a thing, and like, wait a minute, did they actually take her character design from her and all? And
It's also entirely possible back in that day that they might have just done it by accident. With the internet, you really have to guess, but back in the day, sometimes it's like, did they see it?
it was
I'm not
very
saying that they didn't. I'm
close.
just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying sometimes people do accidentally kind of create the.
I'll even pull up a thing to show you. Let's see. Wall versus Minerva.
Slappy Squirrel was amazing.
Oh,
My favorite 3 things from Animaniacs: Slappy Squirrel, Chicken Boo dated Katie Kaboom. I'm a little rusty on that one. And Good Idea, Bad Idea. Oh,
yes.
the Chicken Boo one. Refresh my memory because it's sounding really familiar.
I don't remember when Chicken Boo dated Katie Kaboom, but I remember both of those things. Yeah, Chicken Boo, of course, we know that one. Katie Kaboom was this teenager that every time she got angry, she would explode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, now that's really sounding
Yeah.
familiar. Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I don't particularly remember that one where the whole date thing, but yeah, Katie Kaboom, she only had like a few. They didn't do really much with her, which I can understand why, because the concept kind of it could get old really fast. But yeah, I freaking love Slappy Squirrel.
She's one of the best.
She is my spirit
And
animal.
the little squirrel nibbling. What's his name?
Yeah, that was oh crap, it was her nephew.
Yeah. Because she was great, but he was really fun with her.
Oh, come on, brain. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Skippy.
Skippy.
Yes.
That sounds right. Skippy.
Yeah, Skippy. Yeah, Skippy was hilarious, and I loved when they went to Woodstock.
Oh yeah, that was
And
good.
just all the cameos and stuff, and then the whole like, hey, Aunt Slappy, or hey, Aunt Slappy, who's the band playing? Who? Yeah, who's the band playing? Who? What? They're not even like who is the band that's playing? Yes isn't even here. And they was like
See, that's what I liked about it is kids in those days, many of them didn't know who those bands were. And the people that made the show just didn't care. They were like, no, this is an old fart. This old fart is too old to know who these old bands are. Doing a great sketch to a bunch of kids who don't know who these bands are. which is so funny, but because they're sitting on opposite sides of the generation, just so
Yeah, they were literally doing it for themselves. For
Yeah.
that one.
pretty much,
And then
yeah.
when they finished, the entire crowd just started cheering and clapping for them. Oh man, yeah, that was a fun part. My favorite, little like song, well, parody song out of that was when they were doing. Oh shoot, what was that? What song was that? Oh crap! I can hear the song in my head, but I'm blanking. But basically it was the dude was singing, and it's like, and it ends with, "Will you throw a tomato at me?" He's like, "What did you want now? Why'd you throw a tomato at me?" And just a tomato just comes like smacks him in the face, and he's just standing there with dripping tomato with his eyes blinking, and there's Slappy holding an armful of tomatoes.
Nice.
See that one, and the I don't know I know the art, well, I know the singer, but I don't know her name. But the song that she did was I have a brand new pair of roller skates. Who's got a brand new key? Because keys with roller skates at the time period. And the parody song was, "I have a box of friendly crackers. Who has some brand new cheese?" And she smiles and ting.
Brilliant. So funny.
Oh man.
Ooh!
Yeah. Let's see. He says, "Chicken Boo is a giant chicken who thinks." Yeah, we know that. Yeah, we got that one. Katie Kaboom was a teenager who had very bad temper. With a nuclear. Chicken Boo one time dressed as a high school quarterback and became Katie's boyfriend. Katie's family had a hell of a time trying to convince Katie that Chicken Boo was a literal chicken. Right on.
Chicken Boo was one of my favorites, and it's the obvious joke.
Yeah.
It's just a chicken. That's what I really loved about that show, is instead of going like, let's do the safe thing the audience has seen 1,000 times, therefore this character must be blank. Somebody just said, no, it's just a chicken. That's why it's funny. You know? No, it's just a chicken.
He will forever and always be a chicken no matter what he does.
And that blank look in its face is just like it's just a chicken. And that's why it's so wonderful.
Chicken Boo, what's the matter with you? You don't act like the other chickens do. Wear disguise to look like human guys, but you're not a man, you're a chicken Boo. But man, yeah. It was one of the ones when he parodied, was it the Magnificent Seven or something? It was one of the cowboy movies. And, "Hey man, you supposed to say giant chicken." And he just kills everybody by accident.
That was so good. The thing is, there's only a handful of shows, because I like music. I like music a lot. I'm not a musical person. I don't care for musicals all that much. Because to me, it always feels like a crutch, so they don't have to actually write anything interesting, you know. I'm not saying that's always true. It's just what it always comes off to me as. So usually when a musical show comes up where there's a lot of singing and stuff, I just kind of go, ah. There's only a handful of exceptions. And Animaniacs is one of those exceptions. Steven Universe is like the other one, where they went in and they did something. In the case of Animaniacs, they really made it funny. And like on the first of the new episodes that they just did, that whole reboot song was scathing. It was really, really scathing for Hollywood. And then they went in and were like, yeah, and we sold out too. And they got Hulu all over them. And I'm just sitting there going like, thank you. Because you snap punched Hollywood in the face, because right now Hollywood needs it. And I'm not against all the remakes. Animaniacs, it is a remake. And there's been a handful of remakes where you just go like, all right, it's kind of fun actually, blah, 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 yada, yada. And then you get stuff like, I can't even bring myself in. I don't even know if it's on TV anymore, but they redid MacGyver. And you're just like, now he's a pretty kid with like a police officer sidekick or whatever, and you're just like, I'm sorry, look, did you need to do that? You know, like, why did you do that? This guy's
Yep. And with the musical stuff, with the musical stuff, with Animaniacs, I loved Rita and Run because I loved.
Yeah, those were interesting.
Yeah, I liked the stories were pretty fun.
And sometimes they're like really like just kind of melancholy. And, yeah.
And but I love it because I love Bernadette Peter. I loved her voice. She had a beautiful voice, and plus, like I liked her when she was in The Jerk, so that helped a little bit. But yeah, just having her like see the songs that she would sing and all that was. I would make sure I would always catch the episodes when they were coming because I love hearing her singing and stuff. Oh man, I'm trying to think. There was one. Yeah, one of the songs that you see when you're saying it's melancholy. One of the songs that they sang, well, Rita sang was basically talking about how bad life can be, and life is just really, really sad, and it's disappointing and heartbreaking.
How close am I to finishing out the sketchbook? Actually, that's an interesting question. I haven't even been thinking about it, so we will find out together.
You're over half of it.
Yeah, we are.
Probably about.
Okay, so right there. So that looks like about 3/4.
Yeah, about a quarter left. Yeah.
Yeah, about a quarter left. And then I'll be, and I think I've got another one of these. I think we picked up 2 of them when we picked these up last time.
I think actually maybe that might be the.
That might be the second one. Okay, well then we'll go pick up another one. I know I got more of my my Stardust duct tape.
Yep.
So I can have my super future sketchbook in space. In space. And and I'm going to get some more stickers for that one. I'm not like a huge sticker person, but I kind of figured as long as I'm doing this, I'm just going to be all silly. I think on the next one, I'm really going to maybe get some big stickers.
Well, just let me know because I got plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, we got the our Super Secret Project X stickers that we can pull in there too. So, which I've been giving out and stuff too.
Sketchbook in space. Yep. Well, it's funny. I was when I first did this. This is the second sketchbook that I've done during the live sketch, and the first one was finishing off the last half of my sketchbook before, and it was freaking falling apart because the sketchbook I had for years. So that's where the duct tape came from. I had to duct tape it back together and stuff. And then when the fresh one came in, I was like, I really liked how that duct tape looked. So I went and I got all the duct tape stank everywhere. And
I love that ska song, Duct Tape Skank.
Duct tape skank. I almost said duct tape skank. Like, what does that even mean?
Well, if you get out to the red line district, you can find out.
Get yourself about 8 feet of duct tape skank. Whoa.
Get one of those in a Cleveland steamer for like $15.
Oh, Cleveland steamers, how I never want to have one.
Well, you don't know what it is. How do you know you might not like it? Or you might like it. You never know.
Because I know what a Boston steamer is. That's why. So I just think to myself, it's probably got a Cleveland twist on it, which in of itself is probably some maneuver that's going to cost you about $24. If you have yourself a coupon.
That's a comic story. But yeah, I'm not a good binge watcher, so chances are we're not going to binge the series. Like I can watch depending on the length of the episodes. If it's like a half-hour episode, I usually can do like 2 or 3. If they're hour-long episodes, I can usually do around 2 before I start getting bored and, and unresponsive.
And I am a binge
Yeah.
watcher,
So we have to compromise when it comes to binge watching stuff and all. But,
Well, what I usually do is I try to find a series that she is not interested in, and then I binge that. Of which I am doing Sapphire and Steel right now,
And-
which is freaking awesome.
And the funny thing is with me, the things that I do like to binge watch, I'll just like watch it on like my tablet or something like that. Because I'm like, oh, well, I really, really, really want to see this, so let me watch it all, and I'll watch it again with you later on or something like that.
Well, I've got two types of binges. The first one is the one that everybody does. They just really sit down and really watch something kind of dedicated, and I don't do that too much anymore. It's not that I don't have things that I want to do that with. I do. It's just that I can't spend that kind of time. So what I do is the type B binge, where it's not necessarily something that I really, 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 really want to pay attention to. And so I'm doing my art and stuff while, like, see, the last one was Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? And actually, that's also when I'm, like, falling asleep. So I got Scoob and the gang hanging out with me as I'm trying to drift off to dreamland.
And now it's the Roadrunner cartoons.
Now we're which actually is much more difficult because I'm laughing
Yeah.
really hard at moments, and you can't fall asleep doing that. Sapphire and Steel, on the other hand, actually I am like mentally engaged with it. So you binge watch things that make her do. Thunder,
No.
Sometimes, yeah, that's true.
But the thing is, though, if it's something that I'm not interested in, I just yeah.
No.
Yeah, I just either watch something else, or I usually when you're watching stuff like that, I'm usually working anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like I'll turn around and watch maybe a couple of things here and there, but I'm usually like doing my work and all that. So yeah, so it's I never shut him down on watching stuff because like if he likes it, cool, and then same thing with me. If it's something that I want to watch,
Yeah.
either I'll watch it and he does something, or either mainly I just watch it on my tablet because no.
But no. That's true. Oh, before I forget, hon. Jason wants to know if we wanted to do a Christmas live stream talking about the He-Man Christmas special with him.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Remind me. We got to get back to him, and because I thought that was, but I wanted to mention it first, and I don't know exactly what his plans are for that, but it does. It sounds like because I don't recall actually seeing that one.
I don't
So
know.
it'll be nice because I get to see something new for once. I think maybe I have seen it.
I've seen the clips. I've seen clips and memes of it. 'Cause it's like the ones with like Skeletor holding the weird little creature. That's from the special.
Yeah, I think I have seen images from it, but I don't recall ever actually seeing it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be fun. Oh man, yeah, it's looking cute.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's funny, I kind of, other than the fact that I made the head a little too high up, which I'm not proud of myself for, bad. But I was like, you know what, let me get her body in there. And it's really funny, re-looking at it, of course I knew this. I knew this going in. She's doing the same thing as Minnie Mouse, sort of, where no, Minnie Mouse doesn't walk around topless. Dot is walking around topless. And I just sat there and I was like, oh wow, I kind of forgot she's like her brothers, obviously. And she's like a weird animal thing, which make, like...
That's actually part of the joke from the original. Like,
Exactly.
What are they?
Exactly right. And then I'm like, oh, kind of, she's topless.
So is Yakko, and Wacko is pantsless.
And then I swear to God, we were talking about stuff, and my head went, how old is she? Like, I just like Suddenly I'm like, these are the thoughts of a mid-40-year-old. Wait a minute, I'm now thinking about this. Like, should I be doing this?
How old are they? They are timeless. That is one of the jokes. And so it's like, what exactly are you? We're cute. And I remember Dr. Scratch and Sniff sang an entire song about what they are.
He was one of my favorites. I love mad science characters, and Scratch and Sniff was hilarious, and he came with a super hot nurse.
Also voiced by, well, not the nurse, but...
I was about to say voiced by. I don't remember ever making a noise.
No, she had a voice. She talked every once in a while.
Did she?
Yeah.
See, it's been a while since I watched the
really
original.
breathy kind of...
Well, she'd better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, Scratch Sniff was also voiced by Rob Paulson.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That sounds like one of his voices.
Yeah. But yeah, she had she talked very little. Yeah, few and far between, yeah. And then she also had a singing part that was really bad. When they were singing the song Monkey Won't Do. Don't know what to say, but monkey won't do. And then she was singing one of the lines and sang it very badly, which I think was also part of her thing that she just didn't see.
That's
it was
awesome.
like really off key.
Well, that was another thing that I thought was funny. And I know that this is not a big deal, especially now 20 whatever years later. And it's not like this is actually really important to me, but at the time, okay, so much of American animation was so safe back then. This is going to sound so ridiculous. I know this sounds ridiculous. I used to watch a lot more anime when I was younger. And, you know, this got me through the dark days of puberty. But the Japanese love themselves some busty chicks. And there's some movement and shake and, you know, blah, blah, blah. So in American cartoons, of course, they would do everything they can to reduce the fact that women had figures at all. With a couple of exceptions, you know, you got like everything on the He-Man and She-Ra stuff. They drew those girls very, very sexy. Firestar, there's some moments with Firestar where you're like, they were bored and lonely when they were drawing this. But overall, they kind of try to reduce it. And then you got to Animaniacs, and not only was the nurse busty, but they animated her like actually shifting and moving a little bit. And there was the one which was she was supposed to be the downtown Julie Brown character. And she was like,
Julie Bruin.
and her boobs were just going, as a kid, I was like, wow. And it's not that it really was important or deep or anything. It was the simple fact that they were like, no, just do it. It's funny. That's what I liked about Animaniacs. They weren't nasty. They weren't rude. It was always funny. And yet they were always like, dude, it's okay. Just do it. Just have fun with it.
Yeah, Julie Bruin, she was actually she was actually Tiny Toons, but still.
Was she Tiny Toons?
Yes, because she was hosting some of the music videos that was on it when they would do like the music video things.
Okay, wait, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because
both of those shows were within a year or two of each other.
Well, yeah, they were done by the same group.
Yeah,
so.
that's what I was saying.
but still, you're still right though. I mean, heck.
And again, I'm not going like, you know, I'm just going like, it's just funny.
Yeah.
You know, and to a younger guy, it's just like, yay! You know?
She was Puma Jessica Rabbit. Yep.
Yeah. By the way, one of my favorite characters. I have a weakness for busty cartoon characters. I just think they're fun. And I actually finally figured it out after years outside of the obviousness of it. It's the same reason why I like drawing like big, beefy kind of dudes. Because big round shapes are infinitely more fun to draw than straight, very linear tubey shapes. Yeah. And so when I'm drawing stuff, you kind of go like, for example, Dot, well, her chest is almost done. She's flat-chested. She's like kind of a bean. You know, and it's cool. It's what she is. You know, it's what she is. It's cool. But this, was nowhere near as fun to draw as, you know, big round spheres smushing up against big round spheres. You know, by the way, when I count the big round spheres, I'm also including the shoulders and stuff. You have the nice big round shoulders, you know, everything, you know, together, and you know, and so like big round shapes are always much more fun to draw. Hence why all these curves up here, to me, this is where the action is. And then there's some action here with the curves that's really awesome. Then down here, I'm like, it's the base so she doesn't fall over.
Yeah, well, it's like like the few nights ago and stuff when I was sitting there drawing, and I'm just like, I was like, oh yeah, like drawing, sketching on the tablet, and I saw this one picture of like somebody drew this really kind of pretty mermaid character, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna draw the breast area because those are some really cool looking extra really interesting curves. So I really did a really quick like study sketch of the mermaid breast area, and I'm just like, curves are fun.
Curves are super fun. It's like people going, it's like, well, why did you make the guy all bulgy and big? And you know, I'm going like,
curves are fun
because it's fun. Yeah, fine. If the boys and girls find any of these images tantalizing, that's okay. But big curvy shapes, way more fun to draw. And so, especially when you're coloring in and shading and stuff, big round shapes next to big round shapes, infinitely more interesting to do, infinitely more interesting to look at. And so when they have like really like straight forms, those are fine. There's nothing wrong with them. You actually want to mix straight and curved stuff together.
Yeah.
But if you just go like, no, all straight, it's like during the 90s, what was her name? There was a Japanese, Clamp. Worked Clamp.
Yeah.
And the Clamp style was all very long, very straight. And the thing was, it looked neat. It did. It was a neat style. But it was a lot of really damn near straight lines. And that to me is why, ultimately speaking, I didn't get a lot out of it. Because I thought the person was an excellent character illustrator. But I also, at the end, it was kind of like, there's a lot of straight lines. It's one of my criticisms of, and I hate to keep pounding on it, the Dragon Ball Z style has a lot of straight or near straight lines, and it's why I like Dragon Ball better, because it was a curvier, typically curvier style. Yeah, there was some straight lines here and there, but there are a lot of just big round shapes with a lot of cartoony stuff, and I just liked it more.
Well, Dragon Ball Z, I mean, it has a lot of its rounded shapes and all this stuff, but they are the way I look at it, they are they are almost chemically round. As the best way I can describe it.
Chemically, did I hear that right?
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
I shouldn't say I'm trying to think the best way to describe it. They are not organically round, I guess is the best way to describe it. It's just like, it's basically taking like rounded rectangles and then just sticking them.
Which is actually kind of neat. There's bits and pieces of those designs that I'm like, that actually is kind of neat. But it's just, to me, too many straight lines. Like, there's a lot of like very straight, you know, on the face, just angle. And I'm not saying people are wrong for liking it. I'm just saying, for me, I end up looking at it going like, you know, it's like, could add a little more curve to that, please. But on the same note, there's also spots where it has that big, bulky, boxy look. It's kind of cool looking, actually. It's just not like the thing that gets me all jazzed, you know. And
not my thing.
Yeah, it just ain't my thing. But there's also bits of it that I'm impressed with, because I'm like, how did he make that work? You know, because I'm like, that's really boxy. How did he make that work? Because when I try to do stuff like that, it always looks like dump. You know,
Stuff looks like dump.
it looks like dump. Dude, this stuff looks like dump.
Yeah, there was on one of the episodes of Tiny Toons. They hardly played it, of course, at least in my area. But I saw it a couple times, where Babs Bunny, Fifi LaFume, the skunk girl, and the other Cheryl Loon. I don't want to call her Duck. She's not Duck. She's a loon. They all decided.
Yes.
They decided that Acme University boys were too immature for them, and so they wanted to make themselves more adult.
I remember that.
Yeah, and went to a college party, and they like literally gave them all the curves and like eyelashes and big lips, and I think like Babs had like a see-through dress on at one point, which they of course they didn't make it so see-through through the rest of it, but it was just like, huh, there you go. And they were trying to make themselves all mature, which they ended up showing that they were completely out of their league and outclassed and not outclassed, but out of their league wise and all that. Because there was one where I think Babs was trying to talk to one of the college guys or so, and he started doing all of the college like yada 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 Chaucer yada yada yada, and she just kind of just shrank down and then suddenly just turned into a baby. Oh man, yeah, that was a funny one. But yeah, they got away with quite a bit in both of those shows, honestly. Oh man.
But that's the funny thing. I'm actually just very much of the opinion that that shouldn't be something of note. That should just be, why aren't people... And I'm not saying pushing it like too far. I'm just saying, why was it that there's so few shows? Now there's more, but there used to be so few.
We were coming off of that time period where...
that Turner Broadcasting Puritan crap.
Well, not only that, but just the whole Tipper Gore thing with cartoons were bad for kids,
Yeah.
and video games were bad for kids.
And they wanted to save America from heavy metal.
Yeah.
And you're like,
yeah.
go home, lady. Go home. If you're gonna be a pain in the butt, go after something that's worth going after.
Yeah. Yeah, but like they were coming off of the whole cartoons need to be innocent and sweet and
Well, no, some cartoons should be. Some cartoons should.
You guys watch Airmaster, Icon, and Gravion. Didn't we watch Icon at one point?
Aiken?
Yes.
Is that the one with the yogurt slide?
I want to say yeah.
If it's the one with the yogurt slide, we have Aiken.
It's in the collection somewhere.
Okay, Airmaster I haven't seen. Gravion. Aiken?
For the round things you mentioned, yeah.
Aiken is... I actually feel like watching that again.
Oh, it's in there.
Yeah, it is. Is it so ridiculous? Actually, that's the funny thing is some people just go, it's my guilty little pleasure, and I just go like, the stuff's fun. It shouldn't be a guilty little pleasure. Okay, admittedly, especially with like Aiken, where the mass of singular breasts equal the mass of other characters in other series, but it's a joke. It's clearly like they're just going... My favorite character in that, just visually, because she just killed me, was the tiny one with the biggest breasts. Like, she'd trip and would just, like, and just roll, and I just would be crying. Because it's so stupid. But it's stupid in a wonderful way. Like, they're just going like, hey, dude, check this idea out. And they storyboard it out, and somebody goes like, make sure she has a banana. And when you're just be going like watching the screen going like, who did this? Like, this is funny, but how do I get that job?
If you remember the joke about chilling her melons, then yes, Joe says.
Yes. I think I do. That sounds really familiar. See, it's funny. Body humor, really good body humor, is to me just as funny because fart jokes are body humor. But people just stick their nose, oh, boob humor, oh, body humor, oh, fart humor, oh, I'm so much better. And then I go, yeah, but you know how funny it is when they get it just right? Yeah. Like, nobody can defend themselves against it. They see it, and then on a genetic level, you break. Just going like, bah! And there ain't nothing wrong with it.
And honestly, it's one of those things where you need balance, and
You need
it.
that exactly
Yeah,
right. You need smart and dumb humor together.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I love a good intellectual joke as much as I love a
Yes.
good stupid fart body joke.
Yes, that's what I keep. That's what really kind of what I'm preaching. Basically, if you love all dumb humor, you might want to smarten up a little bit, and if you like all smart humor, you might want to dumb down a little bit because you don't want a piece of the spectrum. You want the whole spectrum. And why do I say that? Because then you get something that's ultra powerful to me at least, which is smilthy humor.
Yes.
And smilthy humor is
Smart and filthy.
it is, but it's kind of genius because it's hard to do. It's hard to really make something filthy and smart at the same time. Just dirty, dumb, brilliant, smart is so hard to really pull off. And it's such a wonderful kind of combination. Because you could just sit there and be a snob all day, and yeah, you're being clever and you're doing smart humor, but it kind of comes off snobby after a while. And then you get to a point where you're looking at fart humor all day and you're going like, it's like, okay, you're embracing your inner 13-year-old boy. I respect that. I really do. But can we pull it back just a little bit? Like, let's really come up with a fine cheese,
Stinky yet pleasurable. Joe says, Aiken to me was funny because the club was half of women, was beyond huge, and the other half was flat, and they were giving their only male member grief for liking the nicest busty girl in the group.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot about that where you were, and we'll just go with simply saying, and it's true, a lot of it was stereotypical, tropey kind of humor, but there's nothing wrong with that. Like, the thing that I liked, and this is a side thing other than the ridiculous body humor, was that the high school was like this New York sized whacked city high school thing filled with like 100,000 girls with giant boobs, and just the whole, you just go like you just want to shake your head, go like, wow. But when you saw it, it was actually kind of awesome because they actually created all this crazy kind of, like, their clubhouse was this actually a great location. Wasn't necessarily brilliant, but it was kind of all this neat sort of cool stuff. And it was just like this mega facility, which was great because, that's just fun. Admittedly, yes, you're right. But the fact is they did the frozen banana thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't want to live in a world where you can't make a hot girl with a hot dog joke. I'm not saying you should do it all the time, and I'm not saying that it's necessarily really funny when it's done, but the option should always be there. And with Aiken, they were like, okay, frozen banana, giant hootie girl joke time. And, just the two words together, yogurt slide. Technically, I've seen that stuff before, but it doesn't matter. I still was laughing really hard at it.
The one thing they did get right is the situational comedic humor right.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying is it was sort of the Japanese ecchi kind of stuff, but the fact is simple. It was funny.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it was funny in a way that I think, and I'm not going to throw cash down on this in a bet, but I'm going to imagine that some people that would scoff at that kind of humor would still probably end up laughing at some of it because it was so absurd, so over the top, and that's why it was just fun. I just love that stuff where you can like where you can like whip out something and somebody goes, "That was really made," and you're like, "Yeah."
Yes.
Like years ago during movie night, I pulled out a Sonny Chiba movie that was about in present day. In that time, I think it was 80s. 80s Japanese military defense unit who travels back in time with their tank and fights samurai. It is a time traveling tank samurai movie. And I believe Sonny Chiba was in it, if I recall
Yeah, that sounds
correctly.
familiar.
And is it absurd? Yeah, but here's the funny thing. It was actually a good movie, but you describe it to people and people are like, "Wait, what?" and I think there's value in the "wait, what?" Wait, what? Oh yeah. In Aiken, there's a high school filled with teenage girls with gigantic breasts and strange body humor, and there's a yogurt slide. And somebody goes, "What?" There's value there. I legitimately believe so. It may not be a ton of value, depending upon the person watching it, but you still have this moment where you're like, "Wait, wow." And what I love about the slide was you're going like, "That's like a $5 million slide. That thing is like 40 stories tall. It's like 9 miles long. How much did it take to fill it with yogurt? How did you engineer yogurt to go down the slide?" You know, these are questions. This is like the Great Pyramids of Giza of H builds. You know, like, it's so ridiculous. And the tank never appeared in history after they got back. Give me a second.
I think he's asking.
I think he's asking. I'm trying to remember.
I have no idea. I'm very vague
Okay.
for that.
It has been years, and I need to go back and rewatch it. But if I recall correctly, many of the elements that went back in time came back to the present, if I remember correctly. But what was great was watching what really looked like a classic Japanese samurai movie with the big field battles with all the horses and armor and stuff, and a freaking tank with like GIs with machine guns and stuff. It was a crazy movie. Yogurt slide, you mean the school sport? Yes. Yes, the school sports competition. Maybe it wasn't a yogurt slide, but it most certainly looked like a yogurt slide to me. I could have sworn it was a yogurt slide.
Yeah,
I could be mistaken.
I think it was.
I love the Japanese. I don't ever want to get rid of inappropriate humor. That's why I don't like getting into discussions about, what's the right thing to do? I'm like, well, the right thing to do is not hurt people's feelings. But I don't also want to get rid of inappropriate humor and stuff. I just don't.
Right. Well, I mean, the thing is like, people are going to laugh at any and everything, and so it's like.
Well, you don't want to be mean, but
Well, yeah,
exactly what you said. You're right.
And the thing is, it's like you don't want to sit there and I mean, because even if you take away stuff, then
It's still going to happen.
Yeah, people are going to deem something else
Inappropriate or whatever.
and laugh at and all that. I mean,
Well,
it's like,
for example, I was playing the remake of Destroy All Humans today, and your favorite line, the people scream out, "It's a midget!" Okay, firstly, to anyone who is a little person, vertically challenged or however you want to put it, I don't want to insult you. I don't think that that's something that I should be making fun of. I don't think that's cool. But on the same note, this is a little tiny alien running around in the 1950s, and a bunch of gruff military guys are shooting at it, and one guy comes around the corner and screams, "It's a midget!" that. I mean, it's so stupid and so like, what? It's you're like, all right, you know. I mean, I don't want to get rid of that humor. I just don't. You know, it's inappropriate, it's stupid, but we laughed, and I want to believe that it really actually isn't all that offensive, to be honest. It doesn't seem offensive to me, not being vertically challenged, you know.
A little person. But even with that, I mean, all the other stuff that they've said in that game too. Before he started slide, he did a face on her chest. Like, we could get away with it.
You are encyclopedic. That sounds absolutely correct to me.
Because it's been like what 20 years since we've seen it, 15 years at least. I mean, because we have the DVD, but we haven't watched it in a
I
very
haven't watched it
long
in a long
so,
time, yeah. When I got married, it was one of the bachelor party gifts I received. My friend Jim was like, dude, just watch this.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm not one of those ladies who sit there and, no, you can't watch it. Like, no, because actually I sit there and watch it with you because it's funny. Just that we just haven't watched it in a long time.
Old friend of mine contacted me, and I'm going to clean the language up a little bit. I was like, no, the wife doesn't have any problem with me watching adult entertainment. He goes like, dude, you are so lucky. And I'm going like, what? Your wife has a problem with that? And she's like, she will beat the living snot out of me if I watch adult entertainment. And I just go like, huh. Wow. Huh.
Well, to me, it's like I said, whoa, knock the fan over.
Careful now.
Yeah, I was like, for me, it's like, well, one, a lot of that stuff we watch together because it's funny.
Yeah.
We both have kind of the same lines of humor when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then,
2, we're adults.
yeah, 2, we're adults, and
We're
3,
adults.
like I watch stuff also. Like,
Yeah. We're adults.
To any of our family members who are watching this stuff, I'm an adult, dang it.
Yeah, honestly, that's my opinion of matters is adult. Period. Adult. It kind of ends at that. Don't you think? Obviously not.
Could have been worse. You could have gotten the Duchess of Busty Mounds hentai. What?
Well, let's give them a couple points for just the name. Because here's the funny thing. We obviously know what this is referring to. But I can see a place called Busty Mounds. It has just... And she's the Duchess of it. It's a magical land. Magical land.
What was the one we watched years ago that I showed you? About was it Men at Work, I think? The construction worker kid who his entire crew were like female construction workers. And
Oh,
I think it was called Men at Work or
I don't
something.
remember if I saw all of it, but I remember just laughing, going like, that's awesome.
Yeah, I remember, I think I watched like probably 3 or 4 episodes and then just kind of forgot about it because it was hard. Well, one, it was in the early days of a lot of internet stuff and you couldn't trust a lot of the sources and all that because you end up with a virus on your computer.
Yeah, that's true.
And then 2, I think, just kind of forgot about it because it was funny to watch and then just like, don't know where else to watch the rest of it. So, yeah, I thought that one was pretty funny.
Here's the funny thing. I've been kind of looking into people that do similar to me, trying to figure out. And again, this is not a judgment to people who do show up, but I'm trying to get more people to show up. And I apparently haven't completely gotten my shtick down yet. And this guy's name is Mikey Mega Mega, and he's good. He's just. If I didn't have all of my skills thrown in so many directions, I'd probably be the same skill level as him. But he just sits there and just draws character after character. Full body, looks great. Every once in a while he screws up a little bit of the anatomy, but overall he's really good. And so he does a bunch of busty, sexy character stuff. And I'm kind of going like, because I don't think it's cheap. I really don't. I don't think that that's cheap.
Right.
But I'm wondering, maybe I should be doing a little bit more sexy stuff, maybe to pull stuff in, because he gets just like mounds of characters.
Appropriate word.
He's he is the Duchess of
He'd be the Duke.
but I just thought Duchess sounds funny. He is the Duchess of busty mounds of watchers coming in. I assume. No, his numbers are really good, and I just look at it and go like, maybe. But on the same note, I don't want to give up like this stuff because this is like super fun. But on the same note, I was kind of going like, Dot, busty.
I've seen.
Like, creepy. You know, like, then you go, space kook. Busty.
There's the
Creepy.
there's Rule 34. So Rule 34 applies, and I've seen Rule 34 of the Animaniacs, and it's just as weird as you think it is.
I have not seen that yet. Right now, this is actually really funny. I've got a couple things that not funny, but I've got a couple things I'm trying to do, and because of that, I only have certain things that I'm watching because I can watch it while I'm not fully paying attention, which is why I haven't seen it. I'm actually this person where everyone suggests all this stuff to me that I very rarely get to, but I have this list that is like 40 miles long because I can't quite get to stuff because quite often I suck in that way apparently. But yeah, it is on my list. It's one of those ones that it just sounded funny. It really did. Not being busty sounds like an Animaniac skit. I think it would be funny if they they did it, not like some fanboy getting like all like sweaty, going like ooh, quadruple D dot. You know, and I'm going like I want to see the Animaniacs guys do it because it's bound to be really funny. You know,
One episode where they were messing with Beethoven, and she was actually doing the whole like hot chick in the red dress on the piano.
Sure.
And she
Yes.
actually did kind of have like cleavage, quote unquote cleavage, before she like punched him in the face. 'Cause
Sure.
She was doing a parody song of Making Whoopee.
I think I vaguely remember that. I wish I could be like that, you know, that like, bing, another one you're talking about, scene 4, episode 17, and I just go like, I vaguely remember.
Well, in those particular types of cartoons, I am a walking dictionary of those cartoons, so it's kind of like that's my thing.
No, I know, but even like the stuff that I do know, I can't do that anymore because I just spend so much time trying to get my own stories and my own artwork done. I literally hit my limit. I can't do everything I want to do.
It's all good.
All right, so I should probably get going on stuff because it is getting a little late.
It's gonna take a while to get dinner started too, so I gotta get
Yeah.
going on that.
So
I
anywho,
gotta get going on that.
we have ourselves
Oh jeez. Oh jeez.
a hell of a pair here.
Oh, this is gonna this is oh,
Dot
jeez.
Warner, you topless little crazy person. Meet a hillbilly in a space ghost outfit. Which it was some crazy farmer guy, if I remember correctly, in a space ghost, not the space ghost, a different space ghost outfit. So, Dot Warner, I wish I could do his laugh. I can't do his laugh. It would just add to this. But y'all have yourself a marvelous and weird eternity in my sketchbook.
Oh, jeez.
Weird. So weird.
It smells like weird in here.
It's getting weird. It's getting weird in here. All right, everyone. It's gonna get weird in here. Oh, there we go. Got
Joe
weird.
says, my Saturdays aren't complete without having these conversations with the man in the morgue suspenders and his cartoon sketch. Nice. Smack.
But thank you again for showing up.
Yeah, we appreciate you, man.
Yeah, we do, and it's not that we're complaining that we get very few people. I would like to get more people, but the fact is having anybody show up that's enjoying it, that's our actual goal.
Mm-hmm.
If we could get a small group of people who could really just show up and really have a good time, just kind of grow it, that'd be great. But the fact is simple. It's having 1, 2, or 3 people show up that's just really into it like we are, that's where it's really at. So thank you for showing up.
And I kind of like this because that way we can talk about stuff without having to basically regulate an entire group of conversations. It's like
Yeah.
we can stay on one topic.
Well, and that's the thing is I've watched some people do like the mega streams where there's thousands,
Yeah.
and I just watched the artist going like, that looks like no fun. Now, would I like thousands because that way we would have sort of a base to start selling our stuff a little bit better? Yes, but on a what we're doing here level, just having fun talking about, like for example, you brought up Thundar, dude. You brought up the Thundar, no, and I just,
Much respect. Much respect.
that's just a thing of beauty to me, to be honest. I was like, right on Thundar, no. So you have yourself a good week. Everyone out there in TV land who may be joining us later, you have yourself a good week, and
Everyone have a nice Thanksgiving this coming week.
Yeah.
Be safe, whatever you do. Hopefully you're being super safe and just having a nice, safe whatever. But whatever your choices are, just be careful. Have a good fooding.
yeah, and hopefully we should be all good for next Saturday as well. I don't see why.
Yeah, we're gonna be here, so.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true. Okay, well, everyone have yourself a good week. We will catch you later.
Drink some water. Stay safe.